Inside the Classroom takes an in-depth look at one of Team Hardin County Schools' best teachers in action, featuring comments, class instruction, and insight inside the classroom.
I want to be a teacher for the kids, the students. Working with students is absolutely incredible. Every day is a new adventure filled with learning and teaching, encouraging the students, and just helping them and guiding them to learn how to make good choices in life. Is 1/2 always greater than 1/3? That's what we're going to investigate. So we're going to look at these pattern blocks, and we're going to designate the whole as being something different as we investigate. So the first thing I want you to start with is a hexagon. Okay. What do we call the triangle when the hexagon is the whole? So the hexagon is 1. What are we going to call the triangle? Chaz?
1/6.
1/6. I had a lot of different people that actually inspired me to teach. When I think back to elementary school and I think back to the teachers, I honestly find myself doing some of the same things that they did. For example, when I was in 3rd grade, my teacher, Miss Walkup, she read a book to us, Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing, and my parents bought me that book. Well, every year now, I start the year by reading the book to the students, and it's the book that I had from 3rd grade. So I show the students, how old the book is and how I wrote my name in the front of it. In addition to teachers, my grandfather inspired me to teach. He taught for over 30 years in Hardin County, and my parents always placed a big emphasis on education, but my grandfather always took it a step farther. He always told me that your education is the one thing that nobody can ever take away from you. Okay, so if we talk about 1/6, because 3 of you told me that the triangle is 1/6 of the hexagon. So which part of the fraction is the 1? Trey?
The 1 triangle on the hexagon.
Okay, what do we call the number on top of the fraction?
Numerator.
Okay. And what is on the bottom, Colton?
A 6.
A 6. Why is there a 6 on the bottom?
Because there will be 6 triangles to cover the whole hexagon.
All right. And what do we call the number on the bottom of the fraction?
The denominator.
Denominator. Good job. In the lesson today, the students are going to be working with me with fractions or on fractions. We're going to be using pattern blocks, and they're going to be investigating how the fractions change when the whole changes. And they're going to try to discover is 1/2 always greater than 1/3? And what you'll see in the lesson today is just one of my math groups. I do a rotation of 4 different groups each day. So the students, when they're not with me, they're either practicing a skill, they're playing a game that deals with vocabulary, or they're practicing math facts. Again, we're going to use the hexagon as our whole. Okay, what do we call the rhombus when the hexagon is the whole? Ashley?
1/4.
1/4. Trey, what do you think?
1/3.
1/3. Colton, what do you think?
1/3.
1/3.
Yeah, 1/3.
You think 1/3? Why did you change your answer?
Because I put 3 like that.
Okay, so you took the 3 rhombus, or rhombi, it's pronounced both ways, and you covered the hexagon, right? So the rhombus is 1/3 of the hexagon, right? When the hexagon is the whole. Okay, all right.
Kathie Hamilton is an effective teacher because she is constantly looking for new ways and best practices to use with her students to help them be engaged in learning. And she cares about her students. She spends a lot of time trying to come up with ways to make each one of them feel special. And every time I go in her classroom, I see her working with small groups or working individually with students, just shows that she really cares about them. And I think that that caring attitude is what makes her effective, and her ability to want to learn herself and to get better.
What do we call, first of all, what is this? What is this? Luke?
Trapezoid.
Okay. What do we call the trapezoid when the hexagon is the whole? Chaz? 1/2. Student engagement, to me, is the biggest thing. Making connections with those students, whether it be through group work, technology. I want them to have choice, have options. I think that's really important because I know us as adults having choice in how we do things and how we learn things affects how well we succeed. So I try the same things with my students. What do you call a hexagon when a hexagon is the whole? Ashley?
One hole.
One whole? What do you think, Luke?
One hole.
One whole? Do you agree, Trey? All right, I agree.
Well, one thing that Miss Hamilton's got going on in her classroom that we don't have in every classroom at Lakewood is that she does have a one-to-one Chromebook classroom. We have about 4 or 5 teachers here that have that, but Kathie has really embraced it. She's done a great job of integrating that technology into her classroom to make learning differentiated for all of her students. But in addition to that, she also is constantly looking for new strategies to use to enhance vocabulary instruction, which is one of our goals here at the school. She also is always looking for great ways to incorporate writing in what the students are doing, which is another thing we really focus on. So every strategy that I've ever seen her use, I've always encouraged other people to go see it as well, because she always takes time to make sure that whatever she's doing is organized and that it's working with kids and it's effective.
How am I going to write one whole? How will I write one whole? Colton?
1/1.
1/1. Is there another way I could write it?
Yes. Just the number 1.
All right. I could do it this way, or I could do it this way. Right?
She lets us play games on our Chromebook sometimes.
So now we're going to look at using some different pattern blocks. Our whole is going to change. Okay, and remember our question is 1/2 always greater than 1/3? Okay, so that's what we're thinking about. Let me give you this paper also. So we're going to fill in this chart as we go. Igniting a passion for learning in the students. I thrive off of that. And also building the relationships with the kids is a huge joy. I want them to know that I'm not just here to be their teacher. I'm here to be, their leader, their mentor, to inspire them and coach them along the way. So we're investigating, and when we're finished, we're going to see if we notice any patterns on the chart. Okay, so if we look at the top, let me get a blank one here. If we look at the top, we see, what do you call the triangle when the trapezoid is the whole? So the first time we did it, the hexagon was our whole. This time, the trapezoid is going to be our whole. So what are we going to call the triangle when the hexagon is the whole? Luke?
1/3.
1/3? What do you think, Trey?
1/3.
1/3. Ashley, what do you think?
1/3.
Okay. Show me. Colton, why do we choose 1/3 as our fraction?
Because if you put 3 triangles over the trapezoid, it will make it full. It will cover it.
Good. So go ahead and fill in that spot on your chart.
Miss Hamilton encouraged me by caring about me.
Okay, we're going to keep the whole the same. And what are we going to use next? What are we going to use next? Luke?
Rhombus.
All right. So ask the question.
What do you call the rhombus when the trapezoid is the whole?
All right. What do you call the rhombus when the trapezoid is the whole? Chaz?
1 or 2/3.
2/3? Luke, what do you think?
2/3.
You think it's 2/3? What do you think, Trey?
2/3.
I think it's 2/3. How did you get 2/3?
Because
Hang on, I'm gonna ask Trey. Trey, how did you get 2/3?
if you put one of these on here, you can't put the other one on here with it being a hole. You would have to put another one of the trapezoids to have a hole.
Okay, so what I see you doing is you took the trapezoid and you had the rhombus right here, correct? And then you put another one on top and you said that it didn't work because what was wrong with the rhombus?
It was off of it.
Okay, so then what did you do?
I put another one under it.
Another what?
Trapezoid.
Okay. Did you see what he did?
Yes.
Are you making a different answer other than 2/3?
I've done mine differently.
Okay, tell us how you did yours.
What I did is I saw that you can do 2 and I do one of them. It's over halfway then, and there's one triangle left, and I knew there's 3 triangles.
Okay.
And if you put another one on, it has an extra triangle, so it would like be 2/3.
Okay, so you took what you knew about the triangles. So you covered it like this, and then you knew that 2 triangles were going to be the same or congruent to the rhombus, right? So I agree, fill in that part of your chart.
Kathie is our Innovate Fellow for the district, so she is one of our Google certified educators in our building. She's a Google certified trainer as well, and she shares that knowledge on a regular basis with the staff. We have kind of like an ed camp here every year, and she's always willing to share at that. Recently I asked her to lead the new teacher training, and she taught them about Pear Deck. Last month she did a training on how to do extended responses in math. She's just always willing to let other people learn from her. I asked her this year if she would open her doors to let other teachers come and observe her at different times, and she said yes, and has had several people come observe her, and then she's been able to give them some feedback as well. So she is looked to as a leader in the school. She's also a member of the site-based council. People trust her and they go to her for advice. So she is definitely someone that is sharing with other staff members and making a difference for everyone at Lakewood.
All right, Colton, what's our next question?
What do you call the trapezoid when the trapezoid is the whole?
All right. So Luke, what do you call the trapezoid when the trapezoid is the whole?
One hole.
One hole. Back last summer, I applied for a grant to offer flexible seating for my students. I had done some research last year about offering different things for the students, because when I think about when I'm at home, if I'm working on something, either it be for school or whatever it is, I find that I'll work better when I'm comfortable. I don't sit at the kitchen table when I'm doing lesson plans. I sit in my bed, I sit in the recliner, and I get more accomplished that way, honestly, because I'm comfortable. So I wanted to offer the same thing for my students. So we have the futons that they can use to sit on. They can sit on the carpet, lay on the carpet. I have the stability balls that they can sit on if they want some extra movement. When I started the seating, I assigned seats. But now that the kids have gotten used to it, they're able to choose where they sit. They sit by friends if they want to. They choose to sit wherever they're going to work best. Luke, what's the next question?
What do you call the triangle when the rhombus is the hole?
So what do you call the triangle when the rhombus is the hole? Let that drop. I won't touch that for a minute. Ashley, what do you think?
1/2.
1/2? Luke, what do you think?
1/2.
What about you, Chaz?
1/2.
Okay, so what was the question again? Say it again.
What do you call a triangle when the rhombus is a hole?
All right. So why did you say 1/2? Ashley, I see you have 1/2. Why 1/2?
Because there's two that fills up the whole rhombus. On the bottom for the denominator, and on the top it's using 1.
Yes.
Ms. Hamilton did apply for a grant this year from the Central Kentucky Education Foundation to start flexible seating in her classroom. We have several teachers in the building who have tried flexible seating, and Ms. Hamilton wanted to give it a go as well, and so she got the grant and has started implementing that in her classroom. She's got couches, she's got bouncy balls, she has tables, carpet areas, lots of different choices for the students as far as where to sit and where they can sit to learn the best for them. And so, you know, it's definitely a unique learning environment, but I think she's done a great job of slowly incorporating it with her students to make sure they understand the procedures and that learning is still expected even though we're sitting in different kinds of furniture. In fact, my own child who goes to the school but is not in 3rd grade yet, he's like, I want to be in that classroom or one of those classrooms where they have couches. So it's definitely something that other students notice is happening in the building, and they're, you know, they get excited too, even though they're not in that grade yet. They're like, I want to be in a classroom where I can sit in a different kind of seat and not have to be at a desk and a chair all day long. So flexible seating is definitely something that's kind of hitting the nation right now in education, and I'm glad that she's researched it and is trying it out in her classroom.
What do you call the rhombus when the rhombus is the hole?
All right, so what do you call the rhombus when the rhombus is the hole? Trey, what's that one?
1 hole.
1 hole.
She bought like the futon and the exercise balls, and like that kind of helps us like learn better, and it helps us like focus more.
What do you call the hexagon when the rhombus is the hole?
All right. What do you call the hexagon when the rhombus is the hole? I want you all to go ahead and investigate and finish that row and do the last row. Go ahead and do the last row also.
Kathie was nominated by her peers to be the Excel nominee. I'm not really sure, they didn't really have to give a reason why, but I'm going to guess that it is because of her leadership, because she does have that open door policy, because she does care about kids, and because you know, she's a great teacher, and anyone who's been in her classroom can see that she takes the time to research and to do what's best for students, and so I'm going to guess that's why her peers nominated her, and of course I supported that nomination wholeheartedly, but she did have several people in the school who chose to nominate her for the Excel Award this year.
I'm seeing lots of different fractions on the bottom row. The bottom row is the most challenging. The Chromebooks, like the flexible seating, it was a grant that I applied for a few years ago. I actually started with iPads, and then I was able to transition into Chromebooks. It gives more opportunities for differentiation. The students use them throughout the day. We don't use them 100% of the time. I try to have a good balance and use them, 50-50. But they use them, I give them different assignments in Google Classroom. And I have found that the best way to teach the students for how to use the Chromebooks and how to use the technology is just to let them explore. And then I'll give them a task. So for example, back before Christmas, I wanted to introduce them to Google Drawings and how to do some things with Google Drawings, but I just gave them time to explore and play and then gave them the assignment. But remember, our question is 1/2 always greater than 1/3? Is 1/2 always greater than 1/3?
Yes.
Well, let's look at what you have on your paper and find a 1/2 and find a 1/3. Okay, so point to a 1/2 and point to a 1/3. Okay.
Ms. Hamilton's classroom is really fun because we get to do stuff on our Chromebooks.
So now point to a 1/2 and point to a 1/3 that are not in the same row. That are not in the same row.
There is none. Yes, there is.
Yeah, there's.
Kathie actually has a Facebook page for her class called Hamilton's Happenings, I think is what it's called, and I like to follow it because it just shows all those special moments that she has with her students. You know, they do fun things for different holidays. She always highlights on there anytime they try a new strategy. I think that she'll be remembered by her students just because she does try to make learning fun for them and engaging, and that's something that they're going to take with them and remember for the rest of their educational careers. Show me the 1/2 that you're pointing to with your pattern blocks. Show me the 1/2 with your pattern blocks. What?
It's not.
It's not. What do you mean it's not? What's not?
This is the.
Hang on. Back up. What's not?
This 1/3 should actually be greater than 1/2 because that's 1/2 and this is 1/3 here.
So what's different?
It all depends how big the hole is.
Yes. It all depends on the hole, the size of the hole.
I'll remember her for being caring for all of us.
Teachers are important because they're not just teachers. We're not just here to help the students learn. Ultimately, yeah, that's why we're here, is to teach. But, I mean, teachers are important to be role models, just to inspire students and mentor them, just to make good choices.